I think that their initial goal was one out of desperation, and that was first and foremost, shut his mouth. I think that was it,
Mm.
because that's the biggest danger of Julian Assange, to the powers that be, is that he was exposing their treachery, exposing their lies, exposing what they were doing, exposing that not only were they not lying, but it wasn't an accident, that they know what they're doing. Their power is in their anonymity. Their real power is in that people don't know what they're doing, and that's his threat. So every time he exposes something that the CIA is doing, if he exposes something that the MI6 is doing, the FSB is doing, they get a little weaker every time we know what's going on. If he's ever extradited here, they'll kind of have a tiger by the tail. You can't hold on, you can't let go, because the question becomes, if they prosecute him, the cheerleaders for the government, which the Washington Post, the the New York Times, the major media, they're going to certainly have a quandary, because the question is, do they assist? Do they do what they've been doing and simply be mouthpieces, megaphones for the government against Julian Assange at their own peril? Or do they look in the mirror and say, what do we do? Do we go after this guy or not? Could the United States government, if someone robbed a bank in Lisbon, could the U.S. say, okay, well, bank robbery is illegal in the United States, so we're going after you? So even if they argue that he violated some American law, which is really odd, but even if they try to argue he violated one of our laws, but he did it in another country, the U.S. wouldn't have jurisdiction anyway, so they'd be trying to prosecute something. I don't know. It's weird. You see where I'm going with that? I think everybody sees the rabbit hole that goes down legally, and this is really an attack on us. It's the people in charge, the elite class, saying, "Look, you don't need to hear what this person is saying. You don't need to hear that. We feel threatened if you hear what he has to say." And remember, he's not really saying that much. Julian Assange is pointing us in the right direction. Julian Assange isn't one to say, hey, look, I know the answers, therefore you should listen to me. He's not doing that. He's saying, look, here's some information. Look into it, use your own knowledge and intellect and abilities to decipher it and come up with what you want. Here is the information. In the battle between the water and the rock, the water wins every time. So why? Because it doesn't give up. It keeps going on and on and on and long. So the people who stand for what they believe in, and over the course of time continue to do that, victory is on their side. Time is on our side, and eventually we'll win. If you think back, being a Black American, I've read books from people who were fighting for civil rights in the year 1900, in the 1890s. They had no prayer of getting any kind of civil rights legislation in their lifetime, but they did it because that's what they do. So I think one of the things that we have to do is broadcast journalism, and this is the way I put it. You don't fight to win. You fight because you're a fighter. That's what Julian pushes for, transparency. We're pushing for transparency. We're saying, where is he? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What is your claim against him? How is it valid? We're asking valid questions, and we're not getting the answer. And that's all he did, and that's all we're going to continue to do.